So good day, everyone. Once again, happy weekend to everyone. So we will have the tackle about the overview of research process, so we can start our RRL na din, and then I will show the some guidelines, and then next meeting on our face to face, we will have our long quiz, and then you will continue your RRL with your group mates. Okay, so that you don't have to rush the uh, other steps and phases. Okay, so let me show the PowerPoint. I think no, wait lang, tanano yung aso. Okay. Sama. Okay, so as you can see, okay, um, wait, I will do this. Hi. Okay, so we have the overview of research process. So it is a scientific and systematic, hence it employs step-by-step process. Here are the steps in doing research. Actually, we have 12 steps, but the step 1 to 5, step 1 to 5, which is this, ano po, ayan, 5. That's part of our phase 1. And then the 6 to 12, that's part of our phase 2. And then the phase 3, we have step 13 and 14. And then phase 4 is 15 to 16, which will be part of your second sem on nursing research 2. Okay, so this research process, we have the phase 1 and phase 2 only. Actually, the steps is hanggang 15 to 16, but since we are in nursing research 1 pa lang naman, so we will have the phase 1 and 2 pa lang. Okay? So, nursing research process is indication for systematic. Dapat naka-arrange siya. Hindi yung biglang sisimula ka na sa chapter 5. Siyempre, before we know that research, kailangan alamin natin yung overview, yung background of the study, and etc. Okay? Hindi naman kasi basta-basta na research ang gagawin nyo. You can present it in national or regional, or you can present it on other country. Depende, di ba? So, marami po siyang sakop. Akala kasi natin ang research ay dahil requirements lang kaya natin ginagawa. No, you can use it until maging nurse na kayo, ganyan. So on the first phase 1 and phase 2, we will tackle the identify the research problem, conduct a RRL or the review of related literature, define the actual problem and objectives in clear, specific terms, formulate the hypothesis and define the study variables, and then construct the research and sampling design the tool for data collection, design the plan for data analysis, then collect the data, process the data, analyze the data, write research report, and disseminate it, and utilize the result. So, usually, ito naman po pinag-uusapan at the end of your research. Okay? So, let's move on identifying a research problem. how can we identify your research problem? Sabi ko nga, di ba, kinuwento ko sa inyo, when you come up with your research, kailangan magdedepende yan kung saan kayo curious, saan kayo ano yung gusto nyo i-research, okay? Kung ano yung gusto nyo i-tackle. So sabi dyan, research starts with curiosity, okay? And then when we ask questions about certain phenomena or observations about issues and conditions, we arrive at a topic or problem. Okay? Hindi naman pwede na nag-research ka na wala kang tanong. Kaya from the word, di ba, research, unang-una pa lang, di ba, pinag-usapan na natin yung salitang research. Okay, so but how do we decide on what research topic to pursue? So these are the factors that we need to consider. Okay, so first, sabi ko nga, personal interest, kung saan kayo interesado. Okay? Kung saan kayo curious. Okay? So a researcher must have enough motivation to conduct a scientific investigation. It must be driven by personal interest and curiosity. Okay, interest and curiosity. What else? Experience and capacity. Okay, as a student nurse, okay, you have your RLE, community and hospital. So you can use that as your research problem, di ba? One must have the experience or capacity of the chosen topic. An engineer example cannot or do not have the capacity experience to do a research on public health because of limited or lack of knowledge and skills on healthcare, okay? So since you are a nursing student, you will use your experience and capacity. Kung ano yung na-experience sa school, pwede sa school, not just in the hospital community, kung ano yung na-observe nyo, and you can use it on nursing research. And then next, we have the published literature. Okay, publish. You have read this journal or literature or book-based, sabi na lang natin. And then you are curious about the topic. So you can expand that literature. So sabi dyan, review of related literature is strongly encouraged in order to justify the relevance of the research topic. It is important that a researcher must have an extensive knowledge on previous researches related to the chosen topic. Ayun ang public literature. What else? We have ethical issues. Okay, a research topic is only valid and allowed to be undertaken if it has no ethical or moral violation. So what are the mga ethical issues, diba? Si nurse, nagbigay ng maling gamot sa pasyente. So you are curious about that. What else? Because of the ratio of the patient and then the nurse to be charged to that patient, diba? Minsan na pagbabalik-balik ka niya yung pasyente niya sa dami. For example, 1:30 patients, diba? One nurse is for 30 patients or 30 patients ang kanyang hahawakan. And then, he or she got mistaken na binigay nila ibang gamot or iba yung care, hindi niya napansin na dapat ganun gagawin. So, you can use that as your research problem para ma-minimize natin or ma-eradicate natin yung ganong issues. So that's ethical issues. And then feasibility. What's feasibility? A researcher must ascertain that there is sufficient resources to conduct the study. So, guys, as I told you, diba, magastos po ang mag-research. Okay, that's part of nursing career. Okay? Ang gastos-gastos naman ng nursing. Okay, that's given na po. Ang dami ko na narinig. Okay? Actually, sa mga level 4, nagre-reklamo sila kasi nga, magmamanila. Parang gagastusin. Guys, sinabi na nga, di ba? When you enter nursing, you will consider this a expensive course. Tutusin, guys, mura pa yan. Nasa private school kayo, mura pa yan para sa akin. Kasi, as I go to the Manila, my tuition fee is umaabot po ng 100,000. Okay? Oh, sige. Compare my tuition fee to you guys. And then, how about my tuition fee, my allowance every day, right? So, yun na nga yung sinasabi ko. So, wag po kayo magreklamo sa akin. Okay? That's part of nursing journey. Okay? Nanggaling din po ako dyan. Okay? So a researcher must ascertain that there is sufficient resources to conduct study. Money, time, human resource, and availability of the subject or location must be taken into consideration. Okay? So, paano ba tayo makakatipid? Ganun ba yung part yan? Hindi. Marami pa. Okay? Ba yan? And then next, we have the research priorities. Lahat naman priority. No, sabi dito, research priorities are created by different healthcare agencies and academic institutions. So, hindi lang po sa hospitals, community nagkakaroon, sa school din on how we give the right research, right, since iba na kasi generation eh. Sam, shh, Milo Okay, sorry for that. Ano, sana ba ako? So, research priorities, actually we applied this not just in healthcare facilities or hospital, community. We also use this as in academic institution or the offices regarding nursing or the healthcare allied. So, this will be their guide on priority areas that has to be researched on. So, these areas are identified based on their relevance to the current issues and concerns and on the trust of an organization. So that's how we identify the research problem. Okay, so these are the sample of research priorities or research agenda. Okay. So National Unified Health Research Agenda or the NERA by the DOST and then Commission on Higher Education Research Agenda. We have the NEDA or the Philippine Development Plan. And then UNESCO or moving forward the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Institutional Research Agenda of Medical Colleges of Northern Philippines and then the College of Nursing Research Agenda of NCNP. Okay guys, let me share this. When we do our long clearance, kami po, hindi lang po kayo yung may clearance, kami ding mga CIs or teachers around you, okay, not just the College of Nursing, everyone on your tawag dito, on your facility or in MCNP, we do clearance din po. Okay, so required in our clearance is our research title as well as the I think chapter 1 to 2 or chapter 1 to 3 and then next long clearance we have to finish that research. So ganyan po ang mga priorities namin. Sabi niyo, ano ba yung hirap-hirap magpa-clearance sa school? Okay, kung kayo nahihirapan kami din po, nagpapa-clearance kami. Eh yung clearance namin kasama pa doon ang mga research. Okay? Kaya nabanggit dyan, Institutional Research Agenda of MCNP. So, ano ba yung mga agenda ng ating school? So, the MCNP Research Agenda, since you are nursing students, you have health across lifespan. And then under that, health across lifespan, we have occupational health and safety. Okay? This will base on our, sa mga companies. If you will, ayan, sabi dyan, yung mga, like sila Ma'am Erica, di ba? Ma'am Erica, si Sir, tapos Ma'am Elena, they are part of occupational health and safety. They are in charge not just, clinic nurse na nag-ano doon sa mga estudyante, kung masakit ang tiyan, ulo, nilalagnat, etc. They are also part of safety and security of students and employees and radiation protection during simulations. So, yan yung mga part din nila. Hindi lang po nag-cater ng mga may sakit, okay, or nagtatay, etc. Then, health promotion maintenance practices in the community, di ba? Kaya nga nagko-community extension kayo. So, that's part of MCNP research agenda. Di ba? Ano ba mga pina-priority nyo doon? Food feeding kayo, di ba? Yan, nutrition, and then the communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases. Ayan, MCN, the maternal and child health Safety practices and men's health, that's part of research din po. Kaya nga, nagaganap yung mga ganong event, the community extension. Bakit nyo ito ginagawa? Kasi part ba ng duty nyo? No. That's part also of research agenda. Okay, the psychiatric and mental health, reproductive health, and community-based rehabilitation, geriatric healthcare. Then we have the PHC, or the primary healthcare, the health information system, health and wellness of NCMT and employees and students. Kaya di ba may paminsan Zumba. Okay, and then we have the community health activities, community development. We have the Department of Health Programs, Environmental Protection and Conservation. Okay, so kanina about health. So this is part. Next is we have the environmental protection and conservation, like activities in response to the environment condition, waste disposal and sanitary practices in different sectors, climate change, waste reduction and management, innovation, disaster risk management in the health sector. Kaya nga, di ba, yung pag may bagyo, tsaka, ano ba talaga? Bagyo. Okay, and then we have pag lumilindol, di ba? Kaya nga, anong tawag dito, yung nagkakandak tayo minsan na kunwari may lindol, ganito yung mga gagawin. Okay? And then other environmental issues and concerns. And then next, we have the health sciences education, practice, and administration. Okay, so we have effectiveness of current curriculum, like itong ginagawa natin, bakit effective pa rin ba online and face-to-face? And then healthcare practice in all areas. Kahit saan man tayo mapunta, we have to preserve that healthcare practices and curriculum development and implementation. We have clinical affiliation program like policy review, evaluation of program implementation. Kaya nga, di ba, at the end of the semester, may nagpapa-eval sa inyo na video or online, di ba? Eh, tinatamad ko, i-yes ko na lahat. Okay? Kaya nga, guys, mahalaga po din na nag-i-eval kasi nakikita, para makita po namin kung saan ang lackings, ano ba ang problema, ano ba dapat namin gawin para lang po mag-excel tayo. Ganyan din sana kayo, guys, i-evaluate nyo. Mas umoki ba ako, mas sumipag ba ako mag-aral ngayon, unlike dati kasi mababa ako noon, na gusto kong bumawi. So that's evaluation, okay? And then we have alternative and traditional healthcare. Yan, actually may nakita naman ako yung mga herbal plants, yung mga sa inyo ng research title, and then health ethics, tracer studies, social awareness and response, health programs, assessment and evaluation. Under that is policy research, okay? And then we have ergonomic adaptability of MCNP infrastructure. And then drug discovery, okay? Ano yung drug discovery? Yan. Phytochemical analysis of plant samples, endemic plants, isolation and identification of specific active constituents of plant samples, okay? Huwag niyo isipin, guys, na mas madali ang qualitative kaysa quantitative, kaya mas gusto nyo nalang mag-qualitative kasi nga magbabayad ka pa ng stat, di ba, etc. Guys, you can use quantitative, please lang. Gusto ko din malaman kung effective talaga yung mga paniniwala ng mga ating tawag dito, ninuno, di ba? When we drink, yung mga tawa-tawa, di ba? Pwede bumalik ang inyong, tawag dito, medyo tumaas ang inyong platelet, ganyan. So, gusto kong malaman na may mga herbal plants pa ba na effective to use, di ba? Kasi ang binerify lang ng DOH is 10, di ba? Santalubi, if you remember, sa inyong CHN1, di ba? Yun lang ating approved na herbal plants under DOH. As a student, you can use some, okay, di ba? Like yung mga napapanood natin, yung sabi sa Jessica Soho, yan, naalala ko, yung puno ng saging, they cut it in half, and then they put, parang plastic, di ba, bubutasan yung gitna, and then, they put plastic, and then they tie it, okay? So, gusto kong malaman, di ba, biglang habang nagmo-moist kasi yung puno na yun, kasi di ba yung puno ng saging is parang watery siya. So, ayan, nagtutubig siya puso sa loob and then they drink it. Tapos, sabi doon is parang na-proof naman nila, though wala pang researcher, na-proof naman nila na isa siyang antioxidant and then anti-inflammatory and then nakakababa daw ng BP. Maraming nagawa na gano'n. Pero para kasi sa akin, may side doon na pwedeng effective. May side din kasi doon na parang yung hygiene. And then may side din kasi doon na gusto ko malaman kung ano ba siya, psychological. 'Di ba kasi yung iba gagaling ako, talagang gagaling ka. Kasi iniisip ko nagagaling ka because of something that mayroon ka nakain or nainom, etc. Okay? So, maraming bagay na pwede mo siyang gamitin. Okay? So, that's part of quantitative kasi mag-experiment ka. Okay? And then, isolation and identification of specific active constituents of plant samples. Okay? Mayroon kasi mga plants na nakakamatay. Meron din plants na may dalang virus, etc. Ganyan. And then usage of natural resources like plant or animal samples as drug excipients. Okay, sila yung ginagamit as part of experiment, di ba? Kaya nga, di ba sa mga, napansin niyo sa drug handbook nyo, meron pa rin brand X, ganyan. Di ba, category A, B, C, D, and X. Kung pwede ba sa mga buntis or hindi. Di ba si category A, kung naalala nyo, okay? Kung naalala nyo man sa pharmacology, kung pinag-usapan na si category A, pwede kay buntis kasi nagamit na siya sa both buntis sa mga tao and sa mga rats na safe naman. Di ba? Sa category B, hindi pwede sa pregnant kasi nitry naman sa animals, effective siya pero sa tao hindi pa na-try. Parang ganon. So that's the usage of natural resources and dosage formulation. And then bioassay, like antimicrobial analysis, antihypertensive, hypoglycemic, antipyretic. Yan, that's part of the drug discovery. Angiogenic and anti-neoplastic for cancer patients. And then insecticide, okay, biopesticide, okay, kung ano pampatay daw ng mga pesticides, okay, and then next we have the pharmacovigilance. Ano yung pharmacovigilance? We have the adverse drug reactions, reporting of ADR, okay. Nung uminom ba siya ng ganito, nagkaroon ng adverse effect, and then yung pagre-report natin, di ba, according to the research, or according to the journal, ganyan, sabi na lang natin, uminom siya ng brand X, and then, most of them, okay, most of them, parang nagkaroon ng reaction. So, that's reporting of ADR. Okay, and then, school administration and management. We have employee values, ayan, English proficiency, faculty status, adherence to institutional code and ethics, development of evaluation tools, and yung sinasabi kong evaluation, okay? Kaya nga, di ba yung ibang mga teacher medyo nag-i-improve, may mga teacher na hindi nag-i-improve. Like, gusto ko lang i-example yung sarili ko kasi last time, I have a lot of issues. Hindi naman ako nireklamo, pero as I observe, di ba, parang ako wala akong confidence actually magsalita ng English, pero as time goes by, 2 years in teaching, medyo napapractice ko na siya, and then, dati, parang, alam mo yung kahit meron na akong idea doon sa mga topics, parang nawawala pa rin ako, kaya parang I have to read the entire, yung dala-dala ko lagi yung tawag dito, yung kodigo, yung cues ko para lang maalala, ganyan. And then, sometimes, parang nahirapan akong i-balance dati. Okay? Kasi parang na-overwhelm na din ako sa trabaho. Pero, ngayon, medyo napapractice ko na din, dapat ganito ako. Okay? So, that's my, evaluation to myself. Okay? Di ko lang alam sa inyo, pero alam ko napapansin nyo din naman yan. Okay? And then next, we have the College of Nursing Research Agenda. Guys, this is my message to you, okay? When you get your RRL or the review of related literature, dapat updated po. dapat publish on the year 2018 to 2022 kasi you will put it on your research. Okay, ilalagay nyo doon yung resources nyo or kung saan nyo nakuha. Okay, and then, di ba, soon kasi tuturo ko yung EPA style, di ba? Mapapansin nyo sa mga journals, at the end of their research, may mga makikita kayong credits to them, parang ganun, resources, tapos ilalagay nila yung mga website, pangalan ng author, the year, so that, kaya doon namin makikita kung saan yung kinuha, and anong year, okay, so ayan, 2018 to 2022 ang dapat yung kukuhanan ng journal, kasi pababang 2018, like 2017, 16, 15, they are not all updated na. Okay? So, since parang 5 years ang gap natin, okay? Since still 2023, so we have 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. So, it's supposed to be that's 5 years lang. Okay? Kasi nag-a-upgrade yan. Marami pong gumagawa ng research. Kaya, marami din magkakatulad. Okay? Hmm? Nagpapalambing. Kanina pa po ako. Kinukulit. Okay? Hi to them. Hi, friends. Yan. So, ayan. That's okay, so 5 years ang gap po, guys. So, the College of Nursing Research Agenda, we have the year 2018 to 2022. So, 5 years. So, we have this health across lifespan. So, the major outcome is the health of the people is fundamental to the process of every nation. Diba? Ano ba ang role or what are the system of healthcare natin? We have the promotion, prevention, the cure, rehabilitation. So, that's part of health across lifespan. More on health po, diba? Since we are nursing, okay? That's our top priority. So for the next years to come, the college will venture on researches focusing on the factors affecting the health of individuals, okay, families, and the community, especially on diet, lifestyle, and management of different disorders such as infections, communicable, and non-communicable disease. Okay? Priority areas and specific topics, we have health promotion and maintenance practices of the community, assessment of healthcare needs and demands of individuals, families, and community. Also, we have factors influencing the healthcare practices of the community, the current health threats and impediments, and current trends in healthcare delivery system. Also, we have this nutrition, okay? So, malnutrition across the lifespan, more especially sa mga infant, so toddler, adolescent, and adult. And then, contributory factors leading to malnutrition, so management of malnutrition, food sustainability. And then, next, we have the MCN, or the Maternal Child Health and Safety, access to prenatal and postnatal services by pregnant women, and reproductive health flow. Okay, so that's part of teenage pregnancy. Its prevalence, contributory factors, and impact to society, reproductive health awareness and practices. So that's part of health education. And then we have these communicable diseases, their prevalence, contributory factors, management. Like HIV, di ba? We have the HEPA. Yeah, HIV and AIDS is the number 1, and then we have the TB, the hepatitis B, the malaria, and then diseases for elimination. Then dengue, leptospirosis, Ebola, and Zika virus. Okay, that's part of communicable disease. How about in non-communicable disease, di ba? Very common in community, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, the hypertension. Okay, and then we also have the last, geriatric nursing. Okay, care for older adults or the elderly. And then next, we have the mental health. Okay, hindi porket may problema ka sa utak, baliw ka na. Okay, so mental health has been gaining attention from the different sectors of society because of the incidence of depression, anxiety, and suicide across ages. I think kaya lang, hindi naman kaya lang, kaya medyo tumataas din ang suicide, I think, because of the pressure, di ba? Peer pressure, fear, okay? P-E-E-R. Peer pressure or because of the social medias, nape-pressure sila lalo. Okay? So the college is committed contributing knowledge and fact to mental health for proper education, care, and treatment of individuals suffering from mental disorders. Gusto ko, di ba, since you have 9 groups in your section, I think gusto ko lahat to masakop nyo eh. Di ba? Mental health, health promotion, health prevention, about the drugs, about etc. etc. Ayoko kasi magkakatulad. Gusto ko parang may thrill. Kasi most of your ates, they use quantitative study and then more on ano sila, yun yung satisfied, not satisfied, ganyan-ganyan. I think we have to, ang tawag dito, evolve that study. Gusto ko medyo umangat tayo. Okay? I'm not expecting too much naman para hindi kayo ma-pressure. Pero gusto ko lang na dapat pag mag-research process kayo is kung saan naman kayo curious and I think makakaisip naman kayo ng panibago and ang tawag dito, modern. Okay? Yung makikisabay tayo sa current situations. Yan. So mental health awareness and practices of individuals, families, and communities. And the implementation of the mental health law, life experiences of clients and caregivers with mental disorders. Like, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, ang research title ko po, or ng research title namin, or the research study namin ng mga kasama ko noon is lived experience of psychiatric needs. Okay, so example, we have 10, tawag dito, 10 respondents, 5 of them from public and 5 of them is from private. So, ganun din dapat kayo. Okay? Ay, 10 lang kila Ma'am Tina, so 10 na din sa amin. The more, the merrier. Okay? Mas better kung marami kayong makuha respondents. Para makita nyo kung ano yung differences nila. And then, in mental health, we have ethical practices in dealing with mental health. Okay, so that's mental health. And then next, we have nursing education, practice, and administration. So, upon the administration and education, ito po ang major objective. We have nursing as a profession continues to evolve in response to challenges and demands of the society. The college seeks to determine the effectiveness of the current framework of nursing education and its implication to nursing practice and to evaluate the quality of nursing practice in various settings. So, ayun nga sabi sa inyo, sa mga ate at kuya nyo, sa mga level 4, ito po yung main topics nila about nursing education, practice, administration. So, ano nga ba yung mga nandoon? So, determine the effectiveness of current curriculum nursing practice. We have outcome-based education as a paradigm for, higher education institution. And then performance of the Philippine Nursing Licensure Examination, the employability of nurses, skills and competencies of nurses in the workplace, and then they use EBP kasi marami po talaga yung makukuha dyan. And then nursing practice, the satisfaction of various group of clienteles to the services rendered by the nurses. Diba? Bakit mas masungit yung mga nurses sa public unlike sa private? Ang babait naman. Okay? Diba? Nowadays. Okay? Kung sino pa yung nasa public, sila pa yung masusungit. Kung sino naman yung nasa private, sila na yung mababait. Ano nga bang pinagkaiba? Ano ba ang motivation nila at nagkakaganon? Okay? And the adaptability of nurses to current trends and practices. We have the quality and safety of nursing services. And then health ethics, development of assessment tools like nursing education, clinical assessment form, the evaluation tools for nursing skills. And then we have the impact of Association of Southeast Asian Nations, integration and globalization to the nursing profession. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, you can present your research not just here in the Philippines, not just here in your country, not just here on your region, but you can present it nationally or other country. Okay? And then, so that they can use your study as the basis or another research for them to expand their knowledge. And then we have the environmental protection and conservation. Part ba ng nursing yan? Yes. Di ba sabi ko sa inyo, community. Okay? I'm teaching community so I can correlate it. Di ba? Sabi ko nga, when it comes to community, that's part of your population. The environment affects the overall health of every human being. So the college is geared towards finding solutions to the effects of current environmental conditions such as environmental degradation, pollution, climate change, and natural disasters. So what are the priority areas and specific topics? We have healthcare waste management, which is the hospital waste disposal protocols, electronic waste and its effect to health. What else? Human activities contributory to environmental conditions like assessment of environmental conservation, practices of a community, awareness of the community on responsible utilization of natural resources. And then we have the waste disposal and sanitary practices in the different healthcare sectors, okay? Kilala ko na kung sinong gumawa nito and very curious din ako. And then, climate change, emerging health conditions as a result of climate change mitigation, climate change interventions, and then disaster risk management. And part of disaster risk management, we have disaster preparedness readiness of the healthcare delivery system to respond to emergency and disaster, and the evaluation of disaster risk management capabilities of rural health area. Then next, we have health program assessment and evaluation. Okay. So the major outcome is the College of Nursing is committed to serving the community, especially the geographically isolated and depressed communities, to make sure that they receive experience the healthcare services that are necessary for their well-being. Di ba last time they helped the, I don't think the Peña Blanca area, which is yung mga maraming ETA. So they do research for that since nakita nila isolated and depressed communities. So our school, pumunta sila doon para magbigay ng tulong and then food feeding, nutritional feeding, ganyan. And then they give gifts, their parang may short mission, ganon doon. So that's part of our health programs, okay? Which is, di ba si Ma'am Merly very busy about that? Kasi nga, pina-prioritize natin yung health programs, assessment and evaluation. So we have this policy research like case rate, data health information, compliance study, impact evaluation, and then sustainable development goals, and impact and relevance of community activities like outreach and extension to society, and adopted communities. Ayun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. And we have school administration management. Yan. Same lang naman po. Almost the same din kanina, doon sa nauna. Excuse me. More on evaluation and quality assurance. Di ba kahit graduate ka na, you are still part of school administration and management. And then, this one, okay? We have to conduct of review of related literature. Okay? Guys, review of related literature. From the word review, ito po ay tinatakel about sa past journals, past literature, past research. Okay? Doon ka kukuha ng inyong RRL. Okay? Hindi siya background of the study about introduction. Kasi pag sa yung background of the study, you have, for example, you are talking about sudden infant death syndrome. Okay, so you have to look for the definition of sudden infant death syndrome, and then you will put the other meanings from other books, the differences. Yun yung background of the study. So, para yung mga reader, okay, so ang study nila is mainly about SIDS or SID, sabi nila. Pero pag sinabi natin review of related literature, may gumawa na research doon sa topic mo. Gusto mo lang siya i-expand, gusto mo lang siya i-explore, gusto mo lang siyang gawing modern. Kumbaga, yung sa'yo yung latest. Okay, medyo gagawin mo lang siyang mas, tawag dito, mas evolving na research. Trend. Parang gagawin mo siya, for example, you are on the top 10. Okay, gusto mo siya gawing top 1 para hindi ko alam kung anong term tawag doon eh. Pero nasa dila ko na siya. Parang gusto mo siyang gawing top priority, gano'n. Tama ba? Basta sabi dyan, review of literature is one of the most important aspects of the research process. Kasi para i-compare natin yung research mo sa mga research nila, kung may pagbabago ba, or still ganun pa rin. Okay, kaya nga from the word, review of related literature, based on the research problem na nagawa nyo or na-identify nyo na problem. So, significance of review of related literature, parang ko na kanina, di ba? Provides a historical background of your topic. The RRL demonstrate the researcher's understanding of the research issues, show awareness of the most important and relevant theories, models, studies, and methodologies. Show awareness. And then, relevant theories, and then result to identification of the gaps, both theoretical and practical limitations or areas that have not been covered adequately in the researcher's opinion from previous or current literature. And then, as such, the researcher conclude or imply that he will contribute by covering the gaps. Okay? Parang, for example, may mga question doon na hindi naman nasagot. So, you will be the one to answer it. So, parang magko-contribute ka lang doon sa research nila na at least ngayon nasagot ko na yung mga tanong na hindi nasagot. Okay? And then this also results to the formulation of conceptual framework for the reader so that the research question and methodology can be better understood, and then demonstrate to the expert reader that the researcher is aware of the breadth and diversity of literature that relates to the research question. So that's the significance of RRL. Ano ba yan? Para naman background of the study lang? No. Okay? Para magka-idea naman yung reader niya na, okay, so ito pala yung start ng research na to hanggang sa, nag-update. Okay? So, what are the ethical considerations? Okay? So far naman, wala akong nababalitaan about plagiarism. Di ba, pag sinabi natin plagiarism is, kinopy-paste mo lang yung gawa niya without credit. So, you have to put your citation properly. Okay, dapat pag hihingi ka ng study or the root word or any word do sa kanyang research, you have to kindly put the name of researcher or yung nag-conduct ng research. Kasi kailangan mo parang hinihinga mo siya ng credit, okay? This study was from Pag-alilawan 2018, ganyan. Okay, to avoid plagiarism. And then researcher can be taken to court. Yeah. For example, di ba? Sikat na yung research study mo. And then, one of them, nabasa nung author yung mga ginawa niya and nakita niya mismo sa research mo. Pwede ka niyang papuntahin sa korte, pwede kang ipakaso. Kasi hindi mo kinot yung pangalan ng author or the researcher. Okay, kaya nga, citation is very important. Lalo na nga, di ba, yung forge, yung magpanggagaya sa pirma, very common na din po yan. Okay, so avoid forge, avoid plagiarism, and then you have to appropriate referencing procedures should always be followed in research proposals and reports. Always, okay? Hindi kahit, di ba, pag kukuha ka ng research, dapat nagpa-paraphrase ka din. Yun, word by word, pare-pareho. Kaya, napansin nung reader, oh my goodness, this is my research. Everything in his or her study was from my idea and from my journal, okay? Tapos wala kang ginamit na talo ka sa korte kasi hindi ka nag-cite ng maayos and then hindi ka naglagay ng maayos na reference. Okay? So pwede kang ipakaso, pwede kang makulong. Kaya medyo maingat din po tayo sa mga pagkuha ng journals, ganyan. Kasi meron na tayong application or app sa phone, sa laptop na nakaka-detect ng panggagaya po sa other journals. Okay? And dyan po kami magbe-base. Okay? Isa-isahin po namin i-check yan kahit gaano pa kahaba. Para lang po hindi kayo makasuhan. Okay? You are in the right age, so pwede na kayo makulong. Okay? Then next, we have hypothesis. Ano ba yung hypothesis na yan? Naririnig nyo na yun, di ba? Nagawa nyo na ngayon sa first thesis nyo nung high school. So, a hypothesis is a statement of the researcher's expectations. Para lang siyang assumption. Pero, you have to look for the expectation about relationships between the variables under investigation. So, hypothesis in other words are prediction, okay, of as expected outcome. Sabi ko kasi assumption, di ba, without verifying it. But, in other words, we use hypothesis kasi nga, para napapredict na natin, ay, ito yung outcome. Okay, so they state the relationships researchers expect to find as a result of the study. Okay, from the word hypothesis, prediction of expected outcomes. Okay. So, we base our hypothesis from the statement of the problem. Kaya nga, di ba, that's part of your chapter 1. We have the background study, the statement of the problem, etc., etc. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure kung gano'n yun. Pero, we will talk about naman dyan. Okay, I will review the part of chapter 1. Since you will start pa lang naman sa RRL and your hypothesis. So types of hypothesis is first, we have the simple hypothesis. Pag simple lang, predicts that there exists a relationship between independent or dependent variables like wearing of mask decrease the risk of acquiring COVID-19. Para sinagot mo na. Okay? Hindi naman ma-eradicate ang COVID-19 pero pag nagsuot ka daw ng mask, pwede mo siyang ma-prevent. Okay? Nagkaroon ng COVID-19. So, simple nga lang, di ba? And then, how about complex hypothesis? Okay, complex hypothesis predicts that there exists a relationship between two or more. Kung kanina is, parang isa lang ang nire-refer. Ito naman sa complex is two or more independent or dependent variables. Like, wearing of mask, ayan, first variable. Wearing of face shield, second. And then third, using alcohol for hand hygiene is third, okay? Of variables decrease the risk of acquiring COVID-19 infection. So, kaya nga 2 or more, that's complex. And then we have directional hypothesis, okay? Predicts the direction, okay? Kanina, ang pinag-usapan natin is predicts that there exists relationship. Okay? Pero ito naman, kaya nga from the directional hypothesis, direct. Okay? Predicts the direction of the relationship between the independent and dependent variables. For example, high quality education leads to high quality nursing practice. From the word high, straight to the point, high quality. Okay? High quality education daw ay nagre-result into high quality nursing practice. So that's directional or directional. And then, how about non-directional? Siyempre, predicts the relationship between the independent and dependent variable but does not specify the direction of relationship. Wala siya sa direct relationship. Like, online virtual learning influences students' learning behavior. Diba? Walang patutunguhan. And then, we have causal hypothesis. When we talk about causal hypothesis, it predicts cause and effect relationship or interaction between the independent and dependent variable. Okay, so it is more on like yan. The dependent variable becomes a treatment or experimental variable and the dependent variable becomes the outcome variable. Pag independent, there's experimental or treatment. Pag dependent, there's outcome variables. For example, early post-operative ambulation leads to faster recovery. Okay? Maaga masyado yung pag-experiment, pero na-predict niya na yung ambulation leads to faster recovery. Sabi niya. And then how about null hypothesis? Oh, okay, pag sinabi natin null, it is more on statistical hypothesis because this hypothesis usually used for statistical testing and statistical interpretation. So the null hypothesis predicts that there is no relationship between the independent and dependent variable. For example, social isolation has no significant relationship to behavioral changes among teenagers during pandemic. Okay? And then we have this alternative hypothesis. We have, predicts a positive relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Okay? For example, from the word positive, okay, that's alternative. Yan. Social isolation has a significant relationship to behavioral changes among teenagers during pandemic. Okay? Predicts a positive relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Parang may alternative siya. Okay? Sabi diyan, pag social isolation has a significant relationship to behavioral changes among teenagers during pandemic. Oh, that's alternative. So we have 7 hypotheses. First, we have the simple and then the complex, directional and non-directional, causal, null, and alternative hypothesis. Okay? I won't give you a handout since you have your ILG sa ating teachmeet. And then sa mga walang teachmeet, you can get your copy from them. Okay? Since naka-PDF naman na siya. Okay? So, let's talk about the research process. Pag-usapan na natin, ano ba talagang research process? Kasi alam ko yung iba sa inyo, si ma'am tinakil lang, pero parang di ko naman na-gets. Okay? So, let's move sa PowerPoint. Okay? Parang, nandun yung explanation kasi. Okay. So, we have the overview of the research process. So, syempre, kinikredit ko pa rin sa aking former clinical instructor, which is Ma'am Jocelyn Filateo. So, she's my former clinical instructor sa research as well as sa RLE. Okay? Naging teacher ko po siya and until now, we have communication, okay? Basta dami na nag-nursing, still naalala niya ako and she's proud of me and medyo nakaka-overwhelm and yeah, make sure na naman ang kwento si Ma'am. Okay, so I told you guys, we have phase 1 to phase 4. So in phase 1, we have the conceptual phase. May 5 steps siya. We have the step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then sa phase 2, we have the design and the planning phase. We have the steps 6 to 12. And then sa phase 3, which is the nursing research tool niya na yan, we have the empirical phase and hawak po niya dyan is step 13 and 14 and phase 4 which is the step 15 and 16. So let's talk about the conceptual phase which is the step 1 and 5. So this involves activities with strong intellectual or conceptual elements. Sabi ko sa inyo, ano bang madapat kong gagawin sa conceptual phase? You have to read, study, and then pag di kinaya, mag-pray. Okay, sabi ko sa inyo, you have to read, conceptualizing, theorizing, you can relate it to the theory, okay? Because according to, di ba, the theory of Florence Nightingale, the environment, ganyan. Nag-theorize ka na. Then reconceptualizing or reviewing ideas with colleagues or advisors. Okay? Saan pa kayo makakuha ng mga, sa phase 1 nyo? Sa mga journals, books, and etc. Okay? Or the other researches. Or the EBP. Diba? Then, skills, creativity, deductive reasoning, insight, and a firm grounding in previous research on the topic of interest. So, the step 1 is formulating and delimiting the problem. Sabi ko sa inyo, you have to identify an interesting research problem and good research question like substantive issues, theoretical issues, clinical issues, methodologic issues. Okay, kung saan kayo interesado, kung saan kayo curious. So, doon po kayo mag-identify ng yung problem or the research title. And then look for the review, RRL, review of related literature, reviewing the related literature. Paulit-ulit ko nang in-explain what is already known about the research problem. Provides a foundation to base new evidence. Gagamitin siya as basis to your new evidences. Kasi kayo ang gagawa ng bagong ebidensya para sa research na yan. That's step 2. Okay, step 3, undertaking clinical field work. Ano yun, ma'am? Spending time in clinical settings. Since kung clinical siya at i-relate yun pa rin naman siya sa trabaho natin, you have to observe and discuss the topic with clinicians, di ba? Like kami, mga nursing CIs, di ba? And then sa mga hospitals, okay, while doing your RLE, you can observe, you can ask, etc. And then step 4, we have defining the framework and developing conceptual definitions. When a study is performed within a theoretical framework, the findings are significant and useful. Okay, yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Kukuha kayo na, pwede kayo gumawa ng theory o theoretical framework or conceptual framework. Okay? You can search it kung paano gumawa. Okay? Kasi gagawa kayo ng para kayo magpapatophysiology. When you are doing your theoretical framework or conceptual framework. Sabi diyan, when a study is performed within a theoretical framework, the findings are significant and useful. Ganon din po kung conceptual framework ang gagamitin, same sa theoretical framework. Okay, then step 5, that's part of the phase 1, okay? Yeah, formulating the hypothesis, sabi dyan. O, di ba? After your statement of the problem, you have to formulate your hypothesis. The statement of the researcher expectations about the relationship between the study variables. Ayan yung mga questions nyo. Bakit ko ba to gagawin? Okay? For example, di ba? Kung ano, saan kayo curious, ginawa nyo tong you have come up with your identifying problem. Then you have come out also to your problems. Parang ano ba yung gusto mong talakayin sa study mo? Ano yung gusto mong sagutin or gusto mong i-question sa study mo? Ayun yung i-ano nyo sa hypothesis, diba? After your statement of your problem, ano yung expectation mo? Okay? Mag-i-improve ba or hindi? May magpagbabago ba o wala? So that's hypothesis. So that's part of your phase 1. How about phase 2, the design and planning phase? So part of the design and the planning phase, the researcher makes decision as to the procedures to be used to address the research question and plan for the actual collection of data. So dito na kayo mag-brainstorming. Di ba kanina nag-brainstorm kayo sa una? Lalo nyo pa pong anuhin yung brainstorm nyo dito. Okay, kasi mag-iisip na kayo kung ano yung mga gagamitin yung designs, materials. Ayan. That's part of phase 2. Planning. Di ba? Parang sa nursing process lang, we have ADPI. So, di ba, you are done with your assessment, you are done with your diagnosis, o mag-implement ka na and then you have to come up with your planning. Okay, and then the last part is evaluation, di ba? Kung effective ba o hindi. Di ba? Na-meet mo ba yung goal mo? So, yan yung last part. Pero dito muna tayo sa planning. So, we have steps 6 to 12 in phase 2. Medyo marami-rami talaga ang phase 1 and phase 2. So, step 6 under phase 2 is selecting a research design. Anong gagamitin yung design? Ano ba research design? Qualitative ba o quantitative? Okay? So, kaya tinatanong, ano study nyo? Quantitative, qualitative. O, pag sinabi quantitative, trial and error. Okay? Okay. Okay, ano yan? Yan. Okay? Experiment. Ganun, quantitative. O, how about qualitative? Di ba? Case study. Okay. Phenomenological study. O, lived experience. More on descriptional. Okay. Phenomenological study. O, yan ang research design. Is the overall plan for obtaining answer to questions being studied. And then step 7, developing protocols for the intervention. And then step 8, we have identifying the population. Population is all the individuals or objects with defining the characteristics. Sabi dyan, you have to come up with your respondents. Like, ilan ba kukunin ko respondents? 20. Or among 10 of them is not nurse, 10 of them is nurse. I have to take differences between the nurse and then the not nurse. Ganon. Okay? Kung sino yung kukunin yung respondents. That's population. And then step 9, designing the sampling plan, use of samples like yan. Representatives, how typical sample or representative is the sample. Okay? Dito sa population, kung saan kayo kukuha, like private nurse ba yan, public nurse, sa CBMC ba kukuha, within Tugigaraw ba, Kabagan, Isabela, Cagayan. That's population. And step 9 yung sinabi ko sa inyo, representatives or the respondents. Okay? And then step 10, specifying the methods to measure the research variables. Yan. Gagamit pa kayo mga questionnaires, yan, self-reports, observation, interview, physiologic measurements, etc., etc. And then, step 11, developing methods to safeguard human rights. Guys, dito po papasok yung ethical issues, okay? Sa human rights, okay? Makaka-harm ba to sa tao? Magiging confidential ba ito? Para meron kayong gagamitin na ethics, okay? Kaya nga nag-bioethics kayo. So, dito nyo ilalagay sa step 11. Okay, ano yung mga ethical considerations? Okay? While doing your research or the thesis, pero more on research kasi. When you do your research, you have to put the ethical considerations. So that's part of step 11. And then last, phase 2, we have to reviewing and finalizing the research plan, which is the research proposal. And dito po kayo mag-defend sa akin on the last semester of first sem. Okay? You have to defend your research proposal. Bakit yun ang gusto yung research? Ano ang mga benefits? Ano yung mga considerations natin why you conduct this study? Okay? So hanggang dyan muna yung nursing research 1. And then next, we will move sa ating nursing research 2, which is the phase 4 and I think 3 and 4 pala siya. Yung mga result na yun. So ito na ngayon, phase 3, we have 13 to 14, which is the empirical phase, the collecting the data. Nakapag naka-interview, ganyan, according to the plan. Then step 4, preparing the data for analysis like coding. I-verify mo na siya, itatype mo na lahat. And then phase 4, the last, is the analysis or analytic phase, which is, yan, we have the last 15 and 16, analyzing the data. Data are analyzed through statistical procedures pag quanti. Pero pag quali naman, analyze the data, ganun lang. Okay, and the step 16, interpreting the results, making sense of study results and examining their implications. Okay, so hanggang dyan naman po ang research natin. Hindi ko alam kung nakukuha nyo na, pero alam ko, medyo nagigets nyo na, okay, ganito pala yun. Okay? Alam ko nakakabagok, boring, di ba? Ang research, pero sooner or later, ma-appreciate nyo yung importance ng nursing research. And you can help other by using your research, or mas dinagdagan mo knowledge nila about research. Okay? So I think this is the last. Yan, sabi dyan sa phase 5, the dissemination phase. Eto na yung last phase. We have the preparation of the research report. Step 17, communicating the findings. And step 18, we have utilizing the findings in practice. Ito yung pinaka-last na gagawin nyo kasi. Okay? The findings and then the recommendation. Yun yung last part na ng nursing research. So I think this is the last. Totoo na po ito. Okay? So ayan, thank you so much for your listening. I hope you will watch this video. Okay, hindi lang yung mga leaders ang magbabasa. Okay? So leaders, you have to monitor your members. Hindi porket kayo leader kayo lahat gagawa. I will make evaluation tool for every one of you. Hindi lang si leader, pati sa mga members. Para naman may confidentiality, and para malaman ko din, bakit di ka tumulong, anong ginawa mo, anong inambag mo, di ba? Mamaya, nagluto po kasi anong pansit kanto. Ma'am, in-offer ko yung bahay namin para hindi na po gagawa ng research. No, lahat kayo gagawa. Okay? Gusto kong magbagsak. Hindi ganun. Wait lang. Ayusin ko lang yung thought ko. Gusto kong magbagsak. Hindi. Ayoko talaga magbagsak, pero magbabagsak ako kung yun yung na-evaluate ng members and leaders. Okay? Be fair lang sa iba. Okay? Hindi porket inambag mo ang bahay at nagbigay ka ng pansit canton, ikaw nagluto ng lunch, dinner, breakfast, diba, plus points na sa grupo. Hindi. Mag-ambag ka din, makipag-brainstorming ka din. Para lahat alam ang gagawin. Gumraduate ka ako, hindi ko alam yung research namin. No, dapat lahat kayo alam yun. Okay? Kasi dadalhin nyo to hanggang mag-graduate kayo. Malinaw tayo dun, ha? Lahat gagalaw. Okay? Wala akong pake kung may babagsak. Diba? Ang goal ko talaga is ayaw ko magbagsak, pero kailangan talaga kung wala naman talagang inambag. Kaya gagawa ako ng parang evaluation tool, and then parang concerns about sa grupo, para naman hindi ma-offend si leader na ako lahat gumawa, hindi man tumulong yung nagbayad lang sila for printing, ganyan. Okay, lahat kayo kikilos, lahat kayo mag-uusap-usap, lahat kayo magbabasa, lahat kayo magba-brainstorming. So, I think, hanggang dito muna tayo para makapag-start ka sa inyong research. And then, i-verify ko lang yung mga research titles. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I hope tinapos ko itong video, hindi yung in-skip nyo lang. Okay, so God bless and happy weekend. Thank you. Bye. Pag di nyo maintindihan naman yung mga ibang topics, pwede nyo lang balikan since this is uploaded video naman sa YouTube. So yun lang. Thank you so much and God bless.